The following story was written as part of a fully online writing class designed and taught by author Meagan J. Meehan. The stories from this class were subsequently printed in an anthology series titled Wicked Writing Volume 1, courtesy of Stitched Smile Publications. To join the next class, email Meagan J. Meehan directly at artsycr8tiveint@gmail.com. To purchase a copy of the book, visit its Amazon page, linked in the description below. And to learn more about Stitched Smile Publications, visit their official website at www.stitchedsmilepublications.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you to Meagan and her authors, and enjoy the story. The clock radio reads 3:15 a.m. I'm semi-conscious to the fact that, although it's the middle of the night, my body feels twitchy and electric. I try to close my eyes and go back to sleep, but it's no use. As soon as the thoughts start swirling in my head, I know morning has come for me. I slowly sit up and crawl out of bed. I notice that my husband is already gone. There's an imprint of where he'd been. He must have left for work early this morning. I walk to each of my children's rooms to wake them up, but they're gone as well. I head into the bathroom and start my shower. The hot water is flowing strong, and steam has already started filling the small room. I'm almost completely undressed when I catch a glimpse of myself in the now foggy mirror. I turn around to face it directly and frantically start wiping the steam off, causing moist, wet streaks to run down the mirror, distorting the image in front of me. I'm looking at myself, but it's not me at all. My mother's been dead for 10 years now, taken too soon by a ravenous cancer that deprived her body of any muscle or fat. Yet, I'm looking at her now. My cheeks are sunken, and dark circles cradle my eyes. I make my way downstairs to the kitchen and start the coffee. Everything is quiet. All I can hear is the coffee dripping. I decide to walk back upstairs to get dressed while I wait. Once I've done that, I head back downstairs, throw on my coat, grab my coffee and keys, and head out the front door. My alarm shrieks. I wake up again. I was dreaming. Am I still dreaming? My husband is lying next to me now. I remember the test to make sure I'm awake. On my nightstand, I leave my pack of cigarettes. There should be 3 left in the package. I turn over in bed and count them out. 1, 2, 3. I should be awake. I get out of bed and check on both my children again. This time, they're both in their beds. I walk back to the bathroom in my room and it's closed. I never close the door. I start trying to open the door, but it's locked. What's going on? Who's in there? Hello? Open the door! I lean my ear against it. I think for a moment. Wasn't there a lighter on my pack of cigarettes? I look at the nightstand and it's not there. I must be dreaming again. The sunlight from my room window recedes, and it starts to become too dark for me to see. I try to turn on the lights, but they don't work. I start to panic. I wish I'd wake up soon. I sink into the floor and try to scream, but only a quiet whimper comes out. I feel paralyzed. I struggle to move my body. I hear a distant voice, and I strain to reach the sound. Sandra. Sandra! I wake up to my husband shaking me. Are you all right? You must have been having a nightmare. I look over at my nightstand. My pack of smokes is open, showing me 3 cigarettes and the lighter on top. Yes, I'm fine, thanks. I better get ready for work. When I'm finally ready to leave for work, I exit through the front door. Thankfully, I don't wake up in my bed again. I drive to work and sit at my desk. My office is quiet. The sound of the clock ticking is all I can hear for the most part. Occasionally, I overhear a conversation between coworkers or a phone call follow-up with a client's inquiry. My monitor's starting to wear out my eyes, and the clock feels like it's getting louder. Tick. 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 Suddenly, it's quiet. I look over the wall of my cubicle and everyone is gone. The clock reads noon and I guess everyone has left for lunch. I turn back to my monitor to log into my computer. Error. Wrong login. I enter my password again. Error. Wrong login. My head starts buzzing. I'm trying to concentrate on remembering the login information that I've been using for over 5 years. Did I change it? All of a sudden, I can't remember it at all. Trying not to spiral, I decide to get up and go get something to eat and maybe clear my head for a bit. As I stand waiting for the elevator, the buzzing in my head is getting louder. The down button blazes bright red, and I start to feel the ground shifting under my feet. The ding of the elevator arriving startles me, but the door doesn't open. I hear the ding again. This time it's louder and more deafening. The walls start spinning around me, and I feel like I'm going to pass out. I hear my name being called from a distance. I wake up with a start and realize I'm still at my desk. My back is aching from slouching over, and a small puddle of drool has started pooling. I look up to see my manager standing over me, looking very unimpressed. I was dreaming again. It felt so real. Sandra, your completed work items are pretty low, and you're falling asleep at your desk? I think you should go home for the day. His tone is serious. I'm sorry, sir. I guess I'm just really tired and worn out. I'll see you tomorrow. Yes, and I hope you're more productive then, or we might have a problem here. Yeah, don't worry. I swear I'll be better tomorrow. I quickly gather my things and head out of the office. I go to the elevator and press the down button. As I'm waiting, I reflect on how real that last dream was. Then I notice there's a scratch above the down arrow on the elevator button, and I recall it was there in my dream as well. I jump up, frightened by the loud noise from the elevator. I walk closer to the door, but it still hasn't opened. Am I dreaming again? I start breathing heavily, trying to catch my breath and calm down. The door finally opens. I head inside and take it down to the main floor. As I'm driving home, I notice a sleep clinic. I pull into their parking in front of the building and walk inside. A young woman greets me from the reception desk. hello, how are you doing today? A cheery blonde looks up from her computer. Hi, I'm wondering if I can schedule an appointment? She checks her monitor, keying in a few characters. Yes, of course. Actually, we have an opening in about 20 minutes. Is that okay with you? Yeah, that's fine, thank you. And may I ask what your appointment is for? I'm having some problems when I fall asleep. I'd just like to have a quick checkup and consultation. All right, just take a seat and the doctor will grab you when he's ready. I sit down and watch the television in the waiting room. The screen is displaying multiple sleep disorders and their symptoms. They describe sleep apnea, and I don't think I have that. I'm sure my husband would have noticed. Insomnia was next, but I'm not having trouble falling asleep. Then there's hypersomnia, and maybe I do have that one. I did fall asleep at work. The doctor appears in the doorway. I notice that he is tall and handsome.
Sandra, I'm ready to see you now. Would you kindly follow me?
I follow him to a room behind the reception desk. He sits at a cluttered desk and summons me to sit down across from him. As he clears away some space and pulls out an old, tattered notebook, he begins looking for a blank page. When he's ready, he speaks.
Hello, Sandra. My name's Dr. Reed. I heard that you're having problems with your sleep. Would you be able to explain this in further detail for me?
I begin listing my symptoms. I describe the feeling of being awake when I'm still asleep, and continue with a vivid feeling of paralysis that sometimes grips me during the episodes. I also tell him about the incident at work and how I'm worried that it might be jeopardizing my job. After some thought, he starts to explain.
Well, it seems you may be experiencing false awakenings, which are vivid and convincing dreams about awakening from sleep. In some cases, a person can also fall asleep, but the brain will act as though they were still awake. You won't know that you're actually dreaming until you wake up.
As he speaks, I'm beginning to feel some relief at the prospect that I've been experiencing something that could actually be explained. He continues.
There are two types. Type 1 is when the dreamer believes they wake up, but they do not necessarily wake up in realistic surroundings, like their bedroom, and will either actually wake up in their bed or fall asleep in their dream and wake up later. This is the most common type. Type 2 is when a person appears to wake up in their natural surroundings, but slowly starts to notice persons, places, sounds, objects, and feelings that seem to be different or strange in some way. This is the least common type. Pre-lucid dreaming and sleep paralysis may occur with both types. As well, there could be more than one false awakening in a single dream. That being said, you seem to be experiencing symptoms from both types.
Trying to absorb all this information, I ask anxiously, well, what can you do about it?
Unfortunately, there isn't too much we can do other than monitor your sleep. I'm going to prescribe you some sleeping pills. These will help you fall into a deep sleep and should minimize dreaming altogether. Also, I want you to wear this device on your head before you fall asleep and return after 30 days so I can go through the data and understand your brain waves and sleep patterns in more detail.
He hands me a metal contraption, which looks like a headband. Its blinking red lights remind me of something out of a science fiction movie. But driving home, I feel better than I have in weeks. Finally, someone is actually validating my situation. Maybe I'm not going crazy after all. The next couple of weeks are pure bliss. Every night I take the pill the doctor prescribed, I sleep through the night, dream-free. The sleep pattern device takes a little getting used to, but once I fall asleep, I don't notice it at all. When my alarm goes off, it's actually morning, and I even noticed that my performance at work was improving. I've just completed my daily quota at work, and as I'm writing a note on a client's file, I notice a new email. I click on it, but there's no sender, no message, no attachment. I open my web browser to submit a ticket to investigate it. Maybe someone was trying to mess with our system with a virus or something. As I fill out the form, it requires me to attach the email I received, so I look back at my mailbox. The email is gone. I shrug it off and clean up my desk a bit. I restart my computer and head home for the day. After I get home, I hang up my keys on the wall by the front door and start walking into the living room. As I'm walking, I hear my keys fall to the ground, and I look over at the front door, but I don't see them on the wall or on the ground by the wall. I pause for a moment and look at the ground by my feet. The keys are there. Did I think I hung them up, but actually keep them in my hand? I pick them up off the ground and walk back to the front door to hang them up on the wall, for real this time. I guess I must be more tired than I think. Maybe I should try to go to bed earlier tonight after dinner. That evening, I fall asleep on the couch. My husband is at his weekly poker game and the kids are playing quietly in their rooms. I wake up to the sound of a key in the front door. Groggily, I begin to open my eyes and am surprised to see my husband already in the house, sitting across from me in his favorite armchair. He begins to tell me about his night, but I find I can't keep my eyes open. His voice fades away as I fall back to sleep. I wake up again, and I sit up quickly. My husband is no longer there. Sitting in his armchair is my mother. She looks so young and vibrant, just like she did before she got sick. I know in my mind that I must be having a dream, but I don't want to resist it this time. I've wanted to talk to her so many times since she died, and this was my chance. We chat casually about the kids in my life. For the first time in a long time, I'm aware that I'm dreaming, but I don't feel the familiar fear that usually accompanies the realization. I start to feel drowsy again, but will myself to stay awake for a few more moments with her. Eventually, though, the fatigue is too overwhelming, and just like that, I'm asleep again. When I wake up, I'm still on the couch. My neck feels crimped, like I've been sleeping on it the wrong way. I sit up and start to stretch my arms into the air, but I stop short as I notice that there's someone new visiting me now. A man that I have never seen before sits perched like a bird on the edge of the chair. I'm struck silent as I watch his head bob up and down, and though his mouth is moving, I can't hear anything he's saying. He's starting to freak me out now, and I begin thrashing around on the couch, willing myself to wake up. I may really be awake this time. I realize I'd fallen asleep without taking my pill. I'm sure this is the reason for the bizarre dream. I'll need to discuss this with Dr. Reed. The next morning, I head to the sleep clinic. While waiting in Dr. Reed's office, I contemplate the next couple weeks. I'm feeling more rested, and the bad dreams seem to be getting less frequent. I hope he has some good news for me. He enters my office and greets me.
Hello, Sandra. How's your sleeping been since the last time we spoke?
It's been amazing. I've been sleeping great and performing better at work. I do miss dreaming as often as I was, but it's worth the trade-off to prevent all the false awakenings I was having.
Ah, that's good to hear. I assume you brought back the device.
I pull it from my purse. Yes, here you go.
Thank you. We're just going to review your brainwaves and sleeping patterns. I'll get back to you when it's complete, but from what you've told me, there shouldn't be any irregularities.
He takes the device and places it on his desk. Alright, well, thanks again, Dr. Reed. I really appreciate it.
No problem. It's what I'm here for, and I'm glad I could help.
I head out the door.
As the door closes behind Sandra, I begin closing the clinic for the night. I walk up to the front and lean on the reception desk. Alright, Katie, you're free to go home for tonight. See you bright and early tomorrow morning.
Thanks, Dr. Reed. Have a good night.
I follow her to the front door and lock it behind her. I walk back to my office, and I'm about to turn off the lights. I notice I left the device Sandra gave back to me on my desk. I look at my watch. It's not that late. I guess I could take a few minutes and look it over. I'll have less to do tomorrow. I sit down at my desk and plug the device into my computer. It's gonna take several minutes to load everything up. I lean back in my chair and yawn. I need to get a faster computer. I start to play with my wedding ring, and then grab Sandra's file from my desk drawer. It's in a black folder. I use those folders for some of my clients who have less common sleep issues. The file finishes downloading. Alright then, let's take a look. Everything seems to be fine for the first few days. Whoa. What's going on? Every night her brainwaves is spiking slowly. Last night was the worst. I've never seen anything like this. And her sleep patterns, they're all over the place. Her body must have slowly become immune to the medication, maybe even made the false awakenings more intense. I have to call and warn her. I look at her file and see if she left a phone number.
Hello?
A young boy answers. Hello? Yes, it's Dr. Reed. I need to speak with Sandra, please.
Oh, my mom's not here right now.
Okay, well, I need you to please tell her to call me back right away. It's very important.
Okay, I will. Bye.
I put down the phone and lean forward in my chair. I can't even imagine what's going to happen if she goes back to sleep.
I feel so happy as I drive home. For the first time in a long time, I feel like everything's okay. Dr. Reed made me feel so much better today. He seems confident that everything should be alright. I pull into my driveway and walk inside. My son is sitting in front of the television, playing some loud and violent video game. Hey honey, how's it going? He barely looks up.
Fine.
He mutters. Anything happened while I was gone?
I don't remember. No, I don't think so.
Where's your sister?
She's doing homework in her room.
That's good. Do you have any homework? He glances up at me with a sly smile.
No.
I put my hands on my waist. Go do your homework. He sighs.
Okay.
His feet make a scampering noise on the carpet as he heads up to his room. I walk into the kitchen and notice the dirty dishes piled in the sink. There's a faint smell of something still lingering. I guess my husband made dinner tonight, which is such a relief as I'm feeling pretty tired tonight. I walk up the stairs to my bedroom and crawl into bed. When I wake up, it's still dark outside. I look at my alarm clock and it's 2 a.m. Something is wrong. I can't move. I struggle to look at my body. I try moving my legs, then my arms, then everything at once. I can't move any part of it. I try not to panic. My eyes are scanning the room frantically, but they freeze on the closet at the foot of my bed. There's a dark figure in there, a man, and he's just watching me. He knows I see him. I start to feel goosebumps throughout my body. The sensation is overpowering. My body starts to feel warm, and when I blink, the man is gone. I still can't move. I try looking around my bedroom and see that my husband is lying next to me. I try to speak, but I can't move my mouth, so I just try to make any noise possible. He starts to move. He must hear me. He turns over to face me, and I'm horrified to see that it's not my husband at all, but the man from the closet. He puts his hand over my mouth and pushes my head aggressively into my pillow. I feel the pain under his weight. Then I wake up. I slowly sit up in my bed. It just must have been a nightmare. The clock now reads 2:30 a.m. I guess I can still get nightmares every now and then, even with the medication. I should tell Dr. Reed next time I see him. I lay my head back down and fall back asleep. After what seems like a deep and restful sleep, I wake up before my alarm goes off. The clock radio now reads 5:45 a.m. I grab my robe and head out into the hallway. The shower is already running. It roars behind me, the steam in the bathroom getting thicker and denser. Breathing heavily now, I realize that I must be dreaming. My heart is pounding as I go into my bedroom. There doesn't seem to be anyone in the bathroom. I look down to see the outline of my husband's body under the covers. His breathing is slow and steady for a moment, so I think I can relax, but I know I can't be tricked into the normalcy and familiarity of the situation. Something is not right. I just have to wait for what might happen next. I look at my nightstand. My cigarettes and lighter aren't there. A scream from my daughter's room startles me. I turn and run to her. She's sitting up in her bed, terror in her eyes, and I realize she must have been having a nightmare. Forgetting that I might not be awake, my maternal instincts kick in and I run to comfort her. I reach for her and pull her toward me. The next thing I know, I'm in the middle of her room, holding her arm. Ligaments and muscle dangle from the lifeless limb. She doesn't react at all, just sits on the bed, smiling sweetly. My heart is racing and my breath is getting labored as I realize that I am still sleeping and in the midst of a horrible dream again. I wake up, open my eyes, and notice that I am not in my bedroom. I'm alone in my bed, but there is nothing but darkness surrounding me. I get out of bed and start to walk around. I can't see very far in front of me, but I continue anyway. Eventually, I can see a canvas with a huge frame around it. As I move closer, I can start to make out an image on the canvas. It's me. I am watching myself sleep in bed, in my bedroom, from above. Slowly, I lift my hand up, and I'm just about to touch the image when it changes. The canvas is completely dark, leaking smoke. I put my face through and pull the rest of my body in. I'm at a park in my neighborhood. It's quite dark, and the streetlights around it cast enough light for me to only see dim images around me. I put my hand in my pocket and pull out my cigarettes and lighter. I realize that this must be a dream. I have a full pack of cigarettes to smoke during this beautiful night at the park. I put one in my mouth and light it. I breathe in the smoke and exhale. I feel very relaxed and calm. Then my eyes catch sight of one of the old trees in the center of the park. Someone is walking behind me.
Well, hello there, Sandra.
I turn around to see Dr. Reed standing in one of the beams of light. He seems taller in the shadows of the park. I smirk. Hello, Doctor.
Can I bother you for a cigarette?
Sure. I hand him a cigarette and light it for him. He inhales the smoke and slowly breathes it out.
So, Sandra, do you think you're dreaming?
I laugh. The sound of it breaks the silence in the serene park. Of course I am, but I don't mind this one.
How do you know what's real or not?
His question hangs in the air before he continues.
What if this is something that's already happened, but you're recalling it as a memory? What if you're actually awake? I'm not sure that you're able to distinguish the difference anymore.
I'm quiet for a moment. When I finally decide how to answer, my voice is raised, and it's apparent to me that I'm getting really frustrated with him. What does it matter? I'm sure I'll have another false awakening or nightmare before I actually wake up. The technicalities surrounding your theories are not important to me. I'd just like to know for certain if I'm awake or not, and be able to wake up when I want to.
And what if you never know for sure?
The streetlights all turn off. I can't see anything. The alarm shrieks. A huge, huge thank you to all of my poltergeists. Bobby Tripp, Calderon, Cheryl Meredith, Gary, Imugi, Joker Smurf 3, and Spirit Father. As always, your support is so appreciated, and thank you from the very bottom of my heart.